I used to own a 2016 Porsche 981 GT4. I had the car for a couple of years. I did a lot of modifications, videos, and I really liked it. It was fully spec'd out. It had every option you could think of in that time. The carbon fiber seats, what they call it, the bucket seats, the PCCBs, which was the carbon ceramic brakes, and it had all the fancy options, and I did all the common mods like the risers and everything. So fast forward today, and we now have a 991.1 Porsche 911S, and it's really cool because I'm comparing both of those cars in my head when I drive the car. Because if you think about it, a lot of the car in the interior reminds me of the GT4. There's not a lot of differences, the center console, the navigation unit, the gauges and everything. When you open up the front, it literally looks the same as the GT4. So I really wanted to dive into the differences as far as an owner's perspective. And I could tell you right away, there's a lot of them, and some of them are gonna surprise you. First off, the sound. I have to say this right away. I am shocked that the 991.1 911S is way louder than the GT4, the 981, which is crazy because the 981 GT4 was the loudest GT4 from the factory of all the GT4s, because later on they became, the 4.0s, they became quieter and everybody complained and all this stuff. But OMG, I was not ready for this to be loud. Now, I do have the Sport Chrono package, I do have the PSE, and I love it because this does all the pops and crackles, and it sounds really amazing whenever you're in those modes. And I still remember how loud the GT4 was. It was a lot of fun, it was loud. And it's very similar, and it makes sense because they both have the 3.8 engine, and technically they have the same engine versus the GT4 was a detuned version of the 911S engine. As a matter of fact, this has 400 horsepower on paper, and the GT4 has 385 horsepower on paper, and a little bit of difference in the torque. But the craziest thing was the sound is what caught me completely off guard. And one of the things that really stands out is that the pops and crackles on this is definitely more intense than the GT4, which was wow. Now, driving both of them is a very unique experience. I have to state the obvious. This is PDK, my GT4 was a manual, but it is really neat to see the differences because the car's usability is a big factor. Now, when I owned the GT4, I felt like it had a sole purpose, one mission. Kind of reminded me of like a Marine, like what do you do? Kill, kill, kill. Like the GT4 was like literally, in my opinion, like a track weapon, a really awesome track orientated GT4 car, just like the GT3 and the GT2. And it kind of resembled that because it had, you know, the PCCBs, the carbon ceramic brakes, had that bucket seat, which made you feel really connected to the car. And whenever you got in the car, you really wanted to push it. And there wasn't really a moment in the GT4 where you weren't pushing it. At all times, it was literally pushing it. And one of the cool things about the GT4, it has the auto rev match, which is awesome. So at any point in time you got a GT4, you're just kind of pushing it. And one of the things that I noticed right away with the 911S, and especially the 991, is that you get a lot for this car. And what I mean by that, it's like the Army Swiss knife of cars. Like if I want to go and chill, because sometimes chilling in a Porsche is part of the experience. Like it is actually really nice. Like this car came with all the frills. I've got sunroof, I've got heated seats, cool seats. And here during the fall, I had the windows down, beautiful day, listening to some jazz. It was amazing. Like I love that. But then with a couple punches of buttons, you know, switch it to Sport Plus mode, you switch it to manual mode, and then you switch the PSE on. Now the car is aggressive. It's got those pops, it's got those sounds, it's got everything's exciting, everything's loud, everything's super fun, and you feel like you're in a proper sports car. And the crazy thing is when you're done, you just turn off the buttons and you're back to listening to jazz music. I did not have that option with the GT4. The GT4 was like, we're gonna party in the morning, we're gonna party at night, and we're gonna party till the next day, which is awesome. But what I love about the 911S is that you have both of those options, which is really cool. Now, as far as handling goes, I'm gonna be honest with you, like I feel like this car handles really well. The GT4 handled really well. As far as speed goes, a manual does make a difference. And what I mean by that is because the GT4 was really orientated in go, 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 and it was a manual, like you felt, and it probably wasn't because on paper, this is faster 0-60, this is faster as far as top end, this has more horsepower, everything about this car is faster on paper, but the GT4 just felt faster as far as the symphony of everything, the music, the manual, the lightness, the nimbleness, the mid-engine. It just felt just a tiny bit faster. But the great thing is, and I think Porsche was very clever about this, making this louder kind of fills in that gap, makes it actually slightly a little more fun because of how loud it is. People really underestimate noise and exhaust sound. Like I literally had a car that I wanted more exhaust sound, and because I didn't have that, I was always yearning for it, and it really left me wanting more. Like I didn't want more horsepower, I wanted more sound, and I really love that this has this. Now, one of the things about the GT4, and I have to be honest with you, is I am a little bit impacted by what people say. Of course, when you own a GT4, a lot of people don't know. Some people say it's a Cayman, oh, it's just a Cayman, blah, blah, blah. It's just a Cayman with the 911S engine, blah, blah, blah. And I really didn't care. It didn't really bug me, but every now and then a comment might get to me. What I like about having a 911S, just to be honest with you, is that it is the flagship car. It is the 911S as far as the regular lineup. I've always wanted to own a 911, and I just feel really cool about that. Like I feel cool having a 911. So owning the GT4, I thought that it was absolutely amazing. One thing that I could tell you right away is that PCCBs are just mandatory. As far as the braking, oh my gosh, worlds apart. The GT4 was just absolutely phenomenal. This is not bad, kind of noisy, nowhere near as good as the PCCBs. I've experienced carbon ceramic brakes the past 2 years. My NSX has them. The AMG GTS had them. As far as looks goes, I would say both cars are beautiful. I'm not like biased towards them. Now, of course, I love my 911. I love this car, but I would say when it comes down to just the market, like this is a better deal. Like this is usually anywhere from $10,000 to $20,000 cheaper than a GT4. And in my opinion, a way better deal, especially if you wanted to get a manual and you want to do a direct comparison, then there's no question that the 911S is a better car when you're comparing manual to manual because they weren't about to have the GT4 undercut it. All right, guys, well, let me know what you guys think. I'm excited. I am in love with this car. We are doing a bunch of videos. This is a great car, and I can't stress enough how much I love it. Fantastic car.